Hey, what's up guys? Shuckle King here, bringing you my second draft analysis for APA Season 7. As we said before, this is going to be broken up into 3 drafts, and we're going to play 4 games with each. And then once we make playoffs, because we're going to make playoffs, even though my 2-2 start honestly was disappointing. I thought I was going to go at least 3-1 with the team I had, because I really liked it. But we definitely got to pick it up these last 2 weeks. But yeah, after the 3 teams with 4 games each, we're going to go into playoffs and pick one of these 3 teams. And I think I might pick this team when we make playoffs, because I think this team is better than the first team I had. And I really liked the first team. People said it was like one of the best in the league, which was crazy. And I thought it was true then, and I think this team's even better. So before we get into it, consider giving a like in the video and clicking the sub button if you appreciate the content I've been putting out this season. Definitely a fun time to be part of the real APA. So they break up the draft order by like first third, second third, and third. So we were in the second third of the draft order, like ranging from pick like 6 to 11 because it's a 16-man draft. So because we were in the middle, we're either going to be on the last third or the first third of this draft. And then in the third draft, we're going to be on the opposite end. So in the second draft, you're going to be in the first third. So we could have gotten a pick from like 1 to 5 or 1 to 6. And then the last draft, we're going to get something like 11 to 16 range. So we got second pick, which is definitely crazy, and they allowed the 2 Pokemons, being Dragapult and Urshifu. Who got first overall pick? JV. JV was first overall pick, and he picked Dragapult, which I think is definitely fair. So that means I went with Urshifu. Urshifu single strike. I had Rapid Strike on my my other team, and it's definitely a cool mod, but Urshifu it just clicks moves for free. Like, Urshifu Rapid Strike has to deal with hitting 3 times with Surging Strikes. So you're getting 3 hits with Rocky Helmet, potentially. There's also Water Absorb mons that can at least handle that move. They probably won't take on close combat that well, but there's a Rocky Helmet mons are a little bit of a better way to take on Urshifu Rapid Strike. Urshifu Single Strike, definitely harder to run Rocky Helmet, because you're running Rocky Helmet. I have coverage to hit fairies or hit bulky waters or whatever your switch in is. Bulky poisons, I guess, are okay against Urshifu too. But yeah, Urshifu just hits super strong. I could see myself bringing Bandit every week, but I can get a little bit creative. But maybe I don't have to. But yeah, the whole purpose of this team was like Urshifu is great. So like people like it's easy to say to just build around Urshifu and you're gonna win, and I do that to an extent. But I also wanted to make sure that like I could win with this team and not bring Urshifu. Like it's I'm gonna bring Urshifu every week, but like if you prep a lot for Urshifu, then you're gonna lose against me, because I hopefully have enough mons on the team that like are gonna also be overwhelming. So if you pair a lot for Urshifu, then one of my other mons can like shine, and maybe it has no counters to it. It can just sweep you. So maybe Urshifu even has like very limited kills, maybe like a kill a match or something, which is still pretty good. But I could see other mons to my team even getting more kills than Urshifu. At the second mon I got, it was either first or second in kills in the first third of the season, and that's Necrozma. Yeah, Necrozma lasted. I was bewildered. Like, Necrozma and Weavile both lasted here, and I thought that was crazy that both those mons lasted. I consider Weavile, even though I have Urshifu. I didn't get it, but like knockoff would have been nice. But yeah, anyway, Necrozma, like Meteor Beam sets I love. You can go physical with Dragon Dance. We saw OG Albina bring Necrozma, and it did pretty well with just Dragon Dance 3 attacks, even though it couldn't recover. I could see myself generally pigeonholing Necrozma to like a Calm Mind 2 attack sweeper, or like Autonomize plus Meteor Beam. I'm probably going to bring those 2 sets the most often, but you never know. I could change it up a bit. Necrozma has rocks. It's generally bulky too. Moonlight, good recovery. Prism Armor, reducing super effective hits. So Necrozma with Urshifu seems really nice. Third pick, definitely a fan favorite of mine, and that's Millmetal. Like, yeah, if you're going to bring your fairy, good luck, because I have a Millmetal. Yeah, like, that's just an awesome pairing. I was unsure if I was going to go with Necrozma or Millmetal, because JV at the wheel, like, Millmetal I feel like would have been awesome with his team. He went with Primarina Tracheon. I guess that's fair, but Millmetal's just, that would have been crazy if we got Millmetal Dragapult, but Millmetal's on my team, so I will definitely take it. Like, yeah, taking on those fairies. Can be bulky. Its special defense is not great, but it has pretty high HP, 135 base. So if you invest like in max special defense, you're taking a lot of special hits. And then if you go AV, you're taking even more hits. You don't even really need a lot of attack investment because it has base 143 attack. It has just super high base stats. Besides speed, and I don't really care about speed. Or I bring Trick Room users. That would be awesome. Next couple mons were like glue mons. I used a lot of points between these first three, even though points don't really matter in the APA. They matter at least a little bit. So Rotom Heat is what I got next. Was debating about Rotom Heat on the first team I had. I decided to go Rotom Wash plus Moltres, but Rotom Heat like just seems like a really solid glue. I was generally on the Rotom forms. I feel like them having Nasty Plot is actually a really, really big buff, and I'm getting them Defog in Gen 7, honestly, was also pretty big, but they just take a lot of hits, and like Pain Split, you can get a lot of recovery back. So Boots also help Rotom Heat a ton. Pivot's another answer to fairy types, which is great. A ground resist for Millmetal, which is awesome. Yeah, Rotom Heat provides a lot of resistances. And the next Pokemon I have is also a ground resist, because I wanted to make sure I got decent ground resist pairing with Millmetal. And Rotom Heat also takes on bulky waters, at least somewhat, with Nasty Plot like Thunderbolt. But Crowbat is the next one I got, and that is like a really elite speed tier, because I was missing out on speed, because the fastest mons are base 98 and Urshifu. So something in that super high speed tier also takes on fairies too. So like, yeah, Millmetal, Rotom Heat, and Crowbat all help with Urshifu, which is great. I'm generally not a big fan of Crowbat. I felt like it was okay to fit the team well, but like a lot of people that were helping me, shout outs to like 6-Foot Hex, Harris, Mario, Hayes, Vepsis, all recommended Crowbat. Kelly liked Crowbat. So yeah, Crowbat seems like a really solid pick here. Could go Nasty Plot with Hurricane, or just Banded Bravers also hit super hard. So like you can't underestimate the power that Crowbat brings. But it could also be like a taunt Super Fang set to like annoy like a very bulky wall that's trying to set up. The Urshifu is nice that it has Wicked Blow that ignores physical defense and boosting. The 6 mon I have, I was debating about getting it in the Crowbat slot, and like because I have like basically a wheel pick. This pick 6 like it was like what 14, almost like 30 picks in between this, and I was like stupefied that Starmie still stayed on the board. Just a really, really nice special breaker that I didn't really have in the team. Like Necrozma hits hard. The coverage is like fine, but Starmie's coverage is even better. Like it's great, and it has analytic. It's like it's really tough to switch into this mon, but it's gonna either or like outspeed you anyway. So like it's a great revenge killer, but if you want to like switch into a mon to like take a hit, you're taking a lot of damage with analytic. Natural Cure is an okay ability, but I'm probably gonna run analytic every week. It has Meteor Beam, so I can go Rapid Spin, Meteor Beam, setup sweeps similar to Necrozma, and Rapid Spin if I wanted to get spikes. It's a nice combo, or if I just want to set up rocks and not have to worry about Defog, Crowbat, or Rotom Heat. So really nice hazard support there. And also gives reliable recovery that like only Crowbat gave it and Necrozma gave it, so more recovery is nice. The 7th mon I picked, I was like not sure if it was gonna last. It lasted a long time in draft 1, and I feel like Wi-Fi community is like generally down on this mon, but the Showdown community is really high on it, so I went with Dragonite here. I mean, people love Dragonite, but for the price, people maybe think it's too expensive, but again, price doesn't matter in APA. So like, yeah, this one is just great. It's not the best answer to fairies, similar to Urshifu, but like it has dual wing beat. Like it can hit hard. If you have a choice ban on it, it's like pretty tough to switch into, unless I go for like an outrage and you're a fairy type. Like even steel types, I have Earthquake to do pretty decent damage, and obviously I have like Urshifu, Rotom Heat, Necrozma with coverage. Like I'm not that worried. Stormy with analytic, boosted Hydro Pumps. Yeah, Dragonite, it's usually seen as like a Boots Dragon Dance sweeper, but it can be like, with Boots and just having multi-skill, it can be a pretty decent like sub-roost, toxic abuser. It can be special defensive with Heal Bill. That's a pretty nice set. Obviously Ice Weak, but I do have Rotom Heat, I do have Starmie, I do have Millmetal. Even like Necrozma, if it's special defensive, can take on just about any ice type, or like Colbur for Weavile or something. But yeah, Dragonite, just seems like a really cool mon. Again, can sweep. Necrozma can sweep you. Stormy can sweep you. Crowbat can hit super hard if you're like not ready for it. And obviously Millmetal. Like, it's just ridiculous. At this point, I'm actually don't have a ton of points left, but like I have enough to round out the rest of my team. Next, I have Miltank, General Ghost Resist that I didn't have before outside of Urshifu, but I don't want to use that to switch into moves ideally. Also a Thick Fat user, so like Dragonite can take on fire hits fine, but doesn't want to get burned. Miltank is okay with it. They both have Heal Bell, so they can deal with it, but Thick Fat, Miltank, really nice in that regard. Also takes on ice types, so like Dragonite doesn't want to take him, so not a bad combo there. Gave rocks too, because my only rocker at this point was Necrozma, and I don't want to run Necrozma rocks that often. I want to have it a little bit more versatility, but Miltank can go offensive if it wants. There's a little bit of creativity because it's like a Gen 1 or a Gen 2 normal, but it's still an early normal enough that it has a lot of cool coverage moves. Not the highest attack, but it's okay. The stats aren't great on Miltank, but it has like great abilities. Zap Zipper too to take on grass types. Not that I'm worried too much about grass types with Crowbat, Rotom Heat, but yeah, Miltank is neat. Next pick, I had to go for it. I had to pick Clefairy. I wouldn't be surprised if I get Clefairy on all three teams or something, but yeah, solid Urshifu answer. Even though I have Urshifu, if I have to face it in playoffs, at least I have something, or at least Urshifu opponent has to like consider that I have Clefairy and might have to run coverage for it, which is honestly fine. But a Stealth Rock user, Seismic Toss, Reliable Recovery, Healing Wish, I believe it gets. Worst case scenarios, I want to heal like an Urshifu or a Millmetal or a Dragonite back up to full. Seems like a cool combo there. Second last pick, I don't have a ground type yet, so I went with Golurk. Strong attacker, and Ghostdab is just really good in the game. Most teams probably have like a cheap normal or some type of answer for Dragapult, but maybe they don't bring that Dragapult answer against a Golurk team type of deal. So that's great. And like Rotom Heat was my... And yeah, only Rotom Heat was my electric resist, so I definitely needed a second one. But I do get a third one with my last pick. I actually went with all 11 slots here. I picked him on. I was not on the dock for the season, but that is Gloom. Gloom. I didn't have a grounded poison, so I feel like I didn't really need one on the team with the removal that I had, and like I had enough mons that like didn't care about getting poisoned, like Clefairy, Dragonite, Rotom Heat, Crowbat. And I could use Boots, Millmetal too, but Gloom is nice if I want to absorb toxic spikes, and it's a bulky mon. It could take on some things. With a Violate, you could definitely underestimate how bulky Gloom is, and then it's going to have a Strength Zap, so it's like you're going to be continuously losing your attack if you're going to try to set up on a Gloom, at least physically, which is great. It doesn't get the Effect Spore that Vileplume does, but that's okay. Will I bring Gloom to a game? I give it like a 20% chance that I bring Gloom to one of my 4 games. So probably a very low chance, but you never know. But yeah, that's my team. I really like it, and I think it's going to do really well for me. But make sure you check out the game on this Saturday. Not a lot of time between this video and the next game against Mid. So yeah, go check it out. But yeah, until next time, later guys.